And time to start on off, right? Without further ado.
It's Sydnie Watts, the superstar freshman, joining us on Running Point. Sydnie, thank you so much for the time. And man, we're excited that we finally get you on the show.
Thank you, guys.
I mean, Sid, let's first and foremost just talk about this season you've been able to put together as a freshman, 200 plus strikeouts under your belt. I mean, just unprecedented game after game. Just talk to me about this experience that you've had with this season so far. Who are some big names that have kind of helped you out in this team and along the way that you want to shout out to?
Some of the things that have helped me along the way is knowing I have my defense behind me, including Ayla at shortstop, Soph at third, Maddy at first, and Kate at second. Knowing I have that infield behind me and then the super strong outfield, it's just been great. And then having McKenna behind the plate, she's awesome back there, and we're so close off the field. I feel like that also helps on the field with, like, our bond just is great.
You talk about this defense, and we've joked with some of your teammates before about how they don't get to play a lot because you're striking out so many people. But with the defense that you have behind you and the confidence that you have, especially in your infield, does that make you able to be a little bit more aggressive when you're deciding what to pitch to people? Because you know if they do get a piece of the ball, you have a really good defense behind you. Does that allow you to be even more aggressive with your pitch selection and what you want to throw to batters?
Yeah, it really helps me grow as a player knowing I have the defense behind me because I'm able to work on my pitches more. Because if they do put it in play, they're there to get the out 99.9% of the time.
Let's talk about the freshmen in the softball world too. We talked with one of your friends, Maddie Hufford, too, of Howland softball. Just all kinds of talented freshmen around the area. What can you speak on the freshmen that are coming up in the softball realm in the area too? The talent level that you saw in 8th grade last year, and what can we kind of expect for years to come in the softball world?
I feel like the game is growing so quickly that the more years, like the more they come up, that the game's just going to get better because the 8th graders now are great. I've seen them all play. They're just, the game's getting better as the years go on.
You know, speaking of Maddy Hufford, we have her mom, I think, commenting and giving you some love in the comments because it's funny because when we had her on, your family was giving her the love. So now they flipped the script and give you some love in the comments during your interview. Obviously, you're both very popular in the softball world. So I wanted to make sure we shared that. Sid, obviously you're going to be a highly recruited player. I mean, it's no secret what you're bringing to the table. Talk about what it's been like to go through and have games that coaches can watch on ysnlive.com, be able to share your highlights and things like that, and how much that has helped your recruiting process and being able to put all these highlights and these game tapes on social media.
Being able to put the highlights on social media has really helped me because not a lot of coaches can see live games because they're in season. They can't watch. So being able to share the clips has really helped so they can see it on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram. And without that, they want to be able to see what we're doing right now.
Let's talk about this matchup that you guys got coming up too. We mentioned Maddie Hufford too, and you guys still have to play the Howland Tigers. Is there a little bit of jest going back and forth between you and Maddie over maybe text or phone calls about these upcoming games?
Yeah, it's been going on for since the season, like since we got our schedule this season, we've been texting all the time about how she's going to hit off me and how I'm jokingly saying I'm going to hit her in the ribs because I won't, but it's just hit off me.
Yeah, I don't think that would feel too good getting 68 miles an hour into the ribs. Sid, talk about, this is your freshman year. You've had to do a lot of things for the first time. You've had to kind of get your feet wet in the varsity level. You don't look like you're ever nervous, but I'm sure there had to be some when you took the first game and you took your first kind of glimpse into this varsity softball field. What was it like trying to beat those butterflies and to try to calm the nerves a little bit?
I looked at it as it's just another game. No matter how I do, it's just a game. And I mean, I've played at high levels of travel, so I've been able to get past the butterflies pretty easily, but it's honestly not that hard for me.
What is your mentality going into game to game? Because it seems like you top yourself, or you just, the next amazing thing, it was one no hitter and then it's two. And then there's so many single hitters that you've done, one hitters that you've thrown, so many double digit strikeout performances. Now it's 200 plus. Just talk to me. What is kind of that mentality going into game after game? Are you trying to top yourself with this? And what can you say on just these performances, these feats, and these just special moments that you've been able to garner in such a short amount of time?
This with going to the game, I try to just do better than I did the last game. But if I don't let it bring me down. Like, I know there's always going to be another game that I could do better than I did the last. But my thing is, I just look at it as do the best I can in that game, because no matter who I'm playing for, I give 100% for that team. So I just got to look at it as I'm playing the game I love and to just do the best I can that day.
I know we're here to talk about Fitch, but I'm a softball junkie. I'm a nerd, so I have to ask about getting coached by Megan Betza and what's that's like in the travel scene. Obviously, All-American, pitch in the World Series from Michigan. What's that like to be coached by her and to have that opportunity when you do play travel for the Lady Dukes and all that goes with it?
I haven't got to play with her yet, but because I joined in, I think December or January, I joined the team. And so much has gone on already since we're not allowed to practice since we're shut down for high school, but we Zoom every weekend. We are constantly talking, texting. We're currently reading a book about it's called The 12 Pillars. I can't remember the name of that. I think it's called The 12 Pillars to Success. But we are doing so much before the season since we're not allowed to be with each other. And I could already tell that this season's going to be great just by the videos we post, how we already are bonding without even getting to really meet each other. I mean, they have, but there's still a few of us that haven't got to play yet.
Let's talk about Coach Ward as a coach too, and a coaching influence. I mean, no doubt he's been there, I think, 8 years now. He's had a huge influence over a lot of softball players. What's the best bit of advice that you've gotten from Coach Ward, whether it be a softball or just life advice?
That a game's a game. It doesn't matter how you do, as long as it's what you love.
When you look at the love of the sport, where did it come from? Where did it start? And how has it developed over your journey in the softball world?
It started when I was really young. I had T-ball. I just automatically clicked with the sport, and I'd always want to practice. Like my dad, and it's really helped that my dad has always been there to practice with me, catch me. He spent hours on the bucket. Like, I couldn't thank him enough for being there for me the whole time. And he's a huge reason why I'm as good as I am now, is because he's spent the hours with me and has just been there for me the whole time.
Let's talk about the fact that these districts are going to be hosted at Austintown too. So you guys, I mean, as long as you guys continue to do your work in the tournament, you guys get to play on that beautiful field. Talk to me about what it's like to be able to play on one of the better softball facilities in the area too, and how much pride you take into being able to throw in that circle game to game.
It's great. The turf is something most teams don't have, which is the reason we've got to play so many games we have this year, because dealing with rainouts honestly sucks, and we haven't had to deal with them, which is just great because the more games, the better.
Before this year, how much have you pitched on turf? And was there any kind of getting used to it or anything that you had to do to kind of, adjust to pitching on turf rather than dirt?
Not really. I honestly feel like pitching on turf is easier because it's the same every time. Like, unlike dirt, you have to deal with holes in the mound, divots, and you don't have to deal with that on turf. I feel like it's easier, but I've practiced my whole life on turf, so I feel like it's easier.
Let's talk about this trip you got to have down in Myrtle Beach. I mean, quite the trip to have for a freshman year, too. And I mean, you guys played pretty well down there against some high-level competition. Talk to me about the softball experience as well as just the bonding experience that you got to experience with your team down in Myrtle.
The competition down there was great, and I feel like it really prepared us for coming back to here. But what was better about the trip was how we all came together as a team. I feel like even though we didn't win the 2 games down there, we still were tight and close as a team. And that really helped coming back because there was a little bit of drama down there that that dissolved because we're so close that we knew we can't have this in the team. But we came back the next game and were able to pretty much just play like we know how to.
Yeah, talk more about the chemistry of this team and the relationships that you've already been able to build just half or a little bit more than a half of a season in. And obviously your friends are just commenting galore on this Facebook comments. What's it been like to you to kind of build these relationships this year and to be able to strengthen friendships with the softball team?
It's been great. All the girls are so loving. We're so close together. I'm sorry, my
It just derailed it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Our friendships have just brought us so much, like, it helps us play together. Knowing each other so well has helped us on the field. Like, I knew Ayla and Bella way before this. We played travel together, and coming in and getting even closer than we were has been nice. And then building the bond with McKenna behind the plate has also been good because we get to know each other outside of the field. And then bringing that onto the field has just helped us know each other better. Like, knowing where I can throw to her and where her best is for when there's runners on base has really helped too.
Well, we got to talk about these paddles with you too, because we bring up these paddles with, I think, pretty much everyone that comes on from this Fitch team. Let's talk about them. We got it from Caitlin where they originated too. But what is your strategy with the paddle that generates the most noise? And what is your go-to paddle? I don't remember the color of your paddle, but do you have like a go-to paddle that's yours?
Yeah, mine's blue with a purple handle. And I use it to just make noise in the dugout, cheer the team up. But the best thing to do is hit it off the water bucket in the dugout.
So that's what I know I'm hearing it bang off of some things too. It's the water bucket.
The trash can, water bucket. It's really anything we find in the dugout that we can hit off it, we do.
You know what, Ty? They find things in the away dugouts too, because I did their game at Boardman, and I know you do a lot of their home games, so they find stuff in visitor dugouts too, that whatever they can find.
They're just practice teeing up the softballs, I guess, too, with the trash cans. I mean, an intimidation factor.
Sydnie, we always ask who the loudest in the dugout is too, because it's such a loud dugout with you guys. We got a couple of mixed answers, so we have to give you a vote. Who do you think is the loudest in the dugout?
Definitely Kayla Schubert.
Oh,
there's another vote for Kayla. It's a Kayla vote. I thought it's either Kayla or Allie Foley that we're getting votes for.
It's been split.
Let's talk about this too. Final question for you that I have for you. So we always like to give all of our players a chance to shout out their support system, shout out those people that are always in the stands for them and have supported them along the way too. So I want to give you that chance to kind of put the spotlight on your support system now.
I want to thank my family for always being there. They haven't missed a game all season, especially my sister. She's always there for me, cheering me on. Out of everybody I hear outside of the fence cheering, it's always her. And she's young, but she will never miss a game. There's so many more things she could be doing other than coming to my games, and she's always there supporting me, which I couldn't thank her enough for.
All right, Sydnie, before we let you go, what is your go-to post-game meal after a big win, especially after a no-hitter?
Ooh, I have no idea. Probably some type of chicken.
I like it. Chickens, you can't go wrong with chicken, Sid.
Chick-fil-A just slid there in Austintown too. It's perfect.
Oh, geez. Are we about to get a cameo?
Yeah. Visitors.
Woo!
That's maximum wattage now. We're getting all watts right now.
We love surprise cameos on Running Point. Sid, thank you so much for joining us today. We look
Thank-
forward to continued success and continued coverage. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you so much.